This is the Telemetry Transportation Daily for August 20th, 2026, and I'm Sam Abuel-Samad, Vice President of Market Research for Telemetry. Today's episode is a little different from the usual news story as I'm providing some thoughts on the Ford Fathom. As usual, Ford has begun trickling out little bits of news ahead of the formal introduction of a major new product. Inevitably, these teasers raise as many questions as answers, and one of the questions I've heard several times recently is whether Ford would offer an extended range EV or EREV variant of the Fathom. As a reminder, an EREV is a vehicle that's driven exclusively by one or more electric motors, but typically has a somewhat smaller battery than a standard battery EV. An internal combustion engine is added exclusively to drive a generator to keep the battery going as it gets depleted, but the engine has no mechanical connection to the wheels. EREVs have become very popular in China in the past couple of years, and Stellantis is expected to launch EREV variants of the Ram 1500 and Jeep Grand Wagoneer in the next few months. Scout has already announced an EREV version of its upcoming truck and SUV, and when it canceled the battery electric Lightning in late 2025, Ford confirmed that it would launch an EREV successor that is likely to arrive in about 2028. EREVs are particularly useful for large trucks and utilities that frequently get used for towing heavy trailers, as the electric range can be severely compromised. Having an EREV that can be quickly refueled is very handy for those customers. The Fathom is targeted at a very different audience, similar to the Maverick, that is unlikely to do much towing. An EREV wouldn't be as useful for those customers. However, building an EREV version of the Fathom is also likely to be problematic because of the vehicle architecture. Ford's universal electric vehicle platform is built in a completely different way from the body-on-frame F-150 or Ram 1500. The front and rear portions of the structure are built around large aluminum castings with a structural battery pack in the center. Most of the interior components are assembled directly to the top of the battery before the front and rear structures are attached. It would be difficult to create an EREV version of this, as the engine would need to go in the front in place of the frunk, but the battery leaves no real space to route the exhaust system. The fuel tank would probably also need to be mounted in the rear. The layout of the Ram uses a smaller battery than the previous battery electric version that was planned within the frame, with room for a fuel tank, and there is plenty of space for exhaust routing. The Fathom and any other UEV platform models are likely to be limited to battery only going forward, and probable customers will probably be fine with that. Thanks for listening.